Listen up, food lovers. Welcome to an amazing adventure down under. We're about to explore the exciting world of Australian street food, and trust me, you'll want to try these recipes. Forget those fancy restaurants. We're talking about the real deal, the kind of food that'll make your taste buds sing with joy. From savory pies to sweet treats, Australia's got it all, and I'm here to guide you through the best of the best. So, loosen your belts, grab a Foster's or a cuppa if you must, and get ready for a culinary journey that'll leave you craving more. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? First up, we've got the king of Aussie street food, the mighty meat pie. Don't let its humble appearance fool you. This isn't your grandma's pot pie. We're talking about flaky, buttery pastry that practically melts in your mouth, encasing a rich, savory filling that'll have you wanting more. The secret to a perfect meat pie lies in the pastry. It's got to be crisp, golden brown, and sturdy enough to hold that delicious gravy without falling apart. And for goodness sake, don't even think about using store-bought puff pastry. Make it from scratch or find another recipe. Now let's talk filling. We're going traditional here with minced beef, slow-cooked in a rich gravy, seasoned to perfection. None of that bland, tasteless mush you find in those supermarket versions. This is proper food made with love and care, so roll up your sleeves and get ready to create a masterpiece. This meat pie recipe is a guaranteed crowd pleaser even if you're not the best cook in the kitchen. Now listen carefully, you wouldn't serve a steak straight from the fridge, would you? So don't you dare insult this Aussie icon by serving it cold. A proper meat pie needs to be piping hot, with the gravy bubbling up through the vents in the pastry. And don't be shy with the condiments. A good dollop of tomato sauce is practically mandatory, but feel free to get creative with mustard, barbecue sauce, or even a sprinkle of pepper. Remember, this isn't just a meal, it's an experience. So take your time, savor every bite, and imagine yourself enjoying it at a footy match with a cold drink in hand. Get this recipe right, and you'll be hailed as a culinary hero from Sydney to Perth. Mess it up, and you'll be sent to the outback with nothing but a jar of Vegemite and a spoon. Next up, we're tackling another Aussie classic, the sausage roll. Forget those sad, greasy excuses for sausage rolls you find in petrol stations. We're talking about a symphony of flavors and textures that'll have you singing Waltzing Matilda in delight. Imagine this, flaky, buttery puff pastry wrapped around a savory sausage filling, seasoned with a blend of herbs and spices that'll make your taste buds dance. It's the perfect snack, lunch, or even breakfast if you're feeling adventurous. But here's the kicker. We're not just using any old sausage meat. We're going for a combination of pork and veal seasoned with a hint of nutmeg and sage, for a flavor that's both familiar and exciting. Get ready to elevate your sausage roll game to a whole new level. This recipe is so good, it'll make you want to throw another shrimp on the Barbie. Now let's talk technique. You want to make sure your pastry is rolled out nice and thin, but not so thin that it tears when you wrap it around the sausage filling. And don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. A good sausage roll needs to be rolled tightly to ensure that delicious filling is cooked through and bursting with flavor. And don't forget to brush the pastry with an egg wash before baking for that beautiful golden brown finish. But here's a tip from a pro: add a sprinkle of sesame seeds or poppy seeds to the top of your sausage rolls before baking for an extra layer of flavor and texture. Trust me, it's a game changer. Now, get to work, everyone. I want to see perfectly golden, flaky, and utterly irresistible sausage rolls coming out of your kitchens. All right, everyone, listen up. We're diving headfirst into the deep end of Aussie street food, and it's about time we tackled the Chico Roll. Now don't let the name fool you. This isn't some delicate spring roll your grandma makes. This is a hearty snack, packed with a savory filling that'll leave you wondering where it's been all your life. Think of it like a deep-fried mystery, wrapped in pastry and begging to be devoured. You've got minced meat, veggies, and a gravy so thick it could hold its own against the toughest critics. Yeah, you see that? That's the good stuff right there. Now I know some of you are thinking, this looks a bit unusual. But trust me on this one, it's a beloved tradition down under. Born and bred in the streets of Australia, the Chico Roll has been satisfying hungry Aussies for generations. And let me tell you, there's a reason why it stood the test of time. It's delicious, it's convenient, and it's iconic. This isn't just some greasy spoon invention, you know? The Chico Roll has a story to tell, a history as rich and flavorful as its filling. It was inspired by the Chinese spring rolls, but the Aussies, they weren't afraid to put their own spin on it. They wanted something heartier, something that could satisfy a hardworking person after a long day. And that's exactly what they got. The Chico Roll became a staple at footy games, festivals, and any self-respecting takeaway shop worth its salt. Now, I've seen some poor imitations in my time, but a true blue Chico Roll, that's a thing of beauty. Crispy on the outside, steaming hot and savory on the inside. It's a symphony of textures and flavors that'll have you singing Waltzing Matilda in no time. So next time you find yourself down under, do yourself a favor and grab a Chico Roll. You won't regret it. Alright everyone, let's talk about something that actually resembles a dessert, the Lamington. And no, it's not named after a certain woolly creature, although the Aussies do seem to love those too. This, my friends, is a sponge cake like no other. We're talking light, airy, and fluffy, dipped in a coat of chocolate so rich and decadent it'd make Willy Wonka blush. But hold on, we're not done yet. Oh no, the Lamington doesn't stop there. We then roll that chocolatey goodness in a generous coating of desiccated coconut. Yes, you heard me right, coconut. Now I know what you're thinking. Coconut in a cake? Are you serious? But trust me on this one, the combination is absolutely brilliant. The coconut adds a delightful texture and a subtle sweetness that cuts through the richness of the chocolate. It's a match made in heaven, or should I say Australia. Now, the origins of this iconic treat are a bit murky, much like the River Thames after a heavy rain. Some say it was named after Lord Lamington, the governor of Queensland back in the day. Others reckon it was created by a clumsy maid who accidentally dropped a sponge cake in some melted chocolate. Whatever the story, one thing is certain. The Lamington is a true blue Aussie classic. And just like any self-respecting national treasure, it has its own set of rules. It has to be square, it has to be coated in chocolate and coconut, and it has to be absolutely delicious. Now, I've seen some real disappointments in my time. Lamington's drier than the Sahara Desert. Lamington's so dense they could sink a ship. But a good Lamington, one that's moist, flavorful, and coated in just the right amount of chocolate and coconut, that's a thing of beauty. So next time you're feeling peckish, ditch the store-bought stuff and whip up a batch of these beauties. You'll be the envy of the neighborhood, you will. Alright everyone, put down your fancy kitchen gadgets because we're about to tackle a recipe so simple, anyone can master it. I'm talking about fairy bread, the undisputed favorite of Australian children's parties. Now before you start picturing some kind of whimsical, gluten-free, organic creation, let me stop you right there. Fairy bread is about as straightforward as it gets. We're talking white bread, butter, and sprinkles. Yes, you heard me right, sprinkles. Those tiny, colorful bits of sugary joy that you thought were only for kids. Well, think again, because in Australia, sprinkles are a way of life. Now I know what you're thinking. This is just bread and butter with sprinkles. Where's the culinary genius in that? And you know what? You're right, it's not rocket science. But there's a certain charm to fairy bread, a sense of nostalgia and childlike wonder that takes you straight back to those carefree days of sugar highs and birthday parties. Making fairy bread is about as complicated as boiling water. Even you can't mess this one up. First, you take your white bread, none of that sourdough stuff, and you spread it with a generous layer of butter. And I don't mean a light scraping, I'm talking a proper spread, enough to make it delicious. Then, and this is the crucial part, you grab your sprinkles and you go all out. We're talking hundreds and thousands, nonpareils, those little silver balls, whatever you've got in the cupboard, put it on there. The more colorful the better, that's the fairy bread motto. Finally, you cut the bread into triangles because, let's be honest, everything tastes better in triangle form, and you're done. It's that simple. So next time you're feeling nostalgic for your childhood, or you just need a quick and easy sugar fix, whip up a batch of fairy bread. You won't regret it. Chapter 7. Pavlova. Alright everyone, listen up. It's time for something a bit fancy, a dessert that'll make you feel like royalty, the delightful Pavlova. This beauty is a meringue-based dream, crisp on the outside and marshmallowy soft on the inside. You want to nail that contrast, right? Get your blowtorch ready because we're going to caramelize the top for that picture-perfect finish. Trust me, this is going to be a showstopper. Now the Aussies love to top their pavlovas with fresh fruit like strawberries, kiwi, and passion fruit. It's a flavor explosion, not a mess. And don't even think about skimping on the whipped cream. We want a generous dollop, piled high and proud. Some folks even add a drizzle of passion fruit pulp for that extra zing. Remember, this dessert is all about elegance and flavor, so keep it classy, alright? Chapter 8. Anzac Biscuits. Next up, we've got Anzac Biscuits, a true Aussie classic with a story to tell. These biscuits were sent to soldiers during World War I because they lasted a long time without going stale. And let me tell you, they're absolutely delicious too. Made with rolled oats, golden syrup, and desiccated coconut, these biscuits are crunchy, chewy, and full of flavor. You can even add a pinch of salt to enhance the sweetness. It's all about balance. The key to perfect Anzac biscuits is to bake them until they're golden brown and slightly firm to the touch. Don't undercook these treats. And listen up, because this is important. Let the biscuits cool completely on the baking tray before you even think about touching them. Otherwise, they'll crumble faster than your plans for the day. Once they're cool, enjoy them with a cuppa or a cold glass of milk. These biscuits are a true taste of Australia, and you'd be missing out if you didn't try them. Chapter 9: Vegemite on toast. Alright everyone, get ready because this next one's a bit divisive. Vegemite on toast, the Marmite of Australia, is not for the faint of heart. This savory spread is made from leftover brewer's yeast, and it's got a powerful umami flavor that's either loved or loathed. But listen up, you can't judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a spread by its smell. Give it a go, you might just surprise yourself. Now the trick to enjoying Vegemite on toast is to use it sparingly. We're not making a mud pie here. Start with a lightly toasted slice of bread, spread a thin layer of butter, then add a tiny smear of Vegemite on top. Trust me, less is more with this one. Pair it with a cuppa for a true Aussie breakfast experience. Go on, give it a try. Alright everyone, listen up. We're diving into the 9th Aussie street food you absolutely have to try. Barramundi. This isn't some sad, soggy fish and chips you'd find down the chippy. We're talking about fresh, flaky, perfectly cooked barramundi. Often grilled or pan-fried to perfection, you can practically taste the freshness of the ocean in every bite. Now, a good barramundi needs nothing more than a squeeze of lemon and a sprinkle of salt and pepper. But some adventurous souls like to spice things up with a bit of chili or a mango salsa. It's all about letting the natural flavors sing. Finding a decent barramundi in Australia is about as easy as finding a kangaroo in the outback. It's everywhere. From seaside shacks to upscale restaurants, everyone's got their own take on this beloved fish. For a truly authentic experience, head down to your local fish market and grab yourself a fresh fillet. Then fire up the barbie and grill it to perfection. You'll be in Aussie food heaven, I guarantee it. But listen, don't mess it up. Make sure the fish is cooked through. You want it flaky and opaque, not raw and slimy. Trust me, you don't want to be making a trip to the emergency room after this culinary adventure. Now go on, get out there and find yourself some amazing barramundi. For the final dish on our Aussie food adventure, we're going all out with a dish that truly represents Australia, the Kangaroo Burger. You heard me right, kangaroo. Now before you get too surprised, let me tell you, kangaroo is a lean, delicious meat. It's got this gamey flavor, a bit like venison but with a unique Aussie twist. Cooked right, it's juicy, tender, and packed with flavor. The classic Aussie Kangaroo Burger comes with all the trimmings. Grilled onions, beetroot, a fried egg, and maybe a dollop of tomato chutney for good measure. It's a flavor explosion in your mouth. Now listen up, you want to cook that Kangaroo Burger just right. It's a lean meat, so be careful not to overcook it. A quick sear on a hot grill is all it needs to be cooked to perfection. And don't be afraid to experiment with different toppings. Get creative with your sauces and relishes. You can even add some grilled pineapple for a touch of sweetness. This is your chance to create a culinary masterpiece, so don't settle for less. Make it your own and make it unforgettable. So there you have it, the Kangaroo Burger. It's a delightful experience for your taste buds and a true taste of Australia. Well, there you have it, everyone. 10 of the most mouth-watering, delicious, and truly iconic Australian street food dishes. I hope this culinary journey has inspired you to get out there and try something new. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more delicious recipes and food adventures. See you next time. For more amazing food and drinks tips and recipes, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you never miss an update from us. Tell us about your thoughts in the comment section. Check out our other videos for more culinary inspiration. We love you. Until next time, keep cooking, stay adventurous.